I still remember the exact moment my stomach dropped in the middle of the airport. The moment I realized my AirPods weren't in my pocket anymore. They had stolen them. And over the next 6 months, I made sure they would never truly enjoy them again. Because today's story isn't just about losing something valuable. You'll understand why sometimes the quietest revenge hurts the most. 6 months ago, during a long, exhausting layover in Houston, something small disappeared and quietly unraveled my peace of mind for months. It had been one of those travel days that feels endless even while it's happening. Gray skies outside the airplane window. Stiff recycled air inside the cabin. My back ached from sleeping upright. All I wanted was to get off the plane, stretch my legs. Empty. At first, my brain refused to accept it. Then faster. Then, with growing urgency, left pocket. Right pocket? Jacket lining, backpack, laptop sleeve. Every zipper. Nothing. Standing up when the seatbelt sign turned off, or slipped into that dark gap between cushions where things disappear forever. Heart pounding, I turned around and hurried back toward the gate. I could see figures moving down the aisle with trash bags and equipment. A gate agent stepped in front of me with a practiced, polite smile.
"I'm sorry, sir. You can't go back on the plane," I tried to explain. Told her they were expensive. Told her I knew exactly where they were. But procedure is procedure, and procedure doesn't care about panic. So I stepped aside, hands slightly trembling, and did the only thing left, filed a lost item report. I included everything: flight number, seat number, airline, description of the case, matte blue silicone with a small scratch near the hinge. Then I activated lost mode and typed a message. "These are lost. Please call." Reward offered. For a brief moment, relief replaced anxiety. People lose items on planes all the time. Someone honest would find them. Someone would call. I believed in that version of the world. At least, for a few hours, while waiting at my connecting gate, curiosity got the better of me. I opened the tracking app, expecting to see them at a lost and found counter. There they were. Still at the airport. Relief flooded through me so quickly I almost laughed out loud. See, everything was fine. But then I zoomed in. They weren't in the public terminal. They were deeper inside the airport, in an area passengers never access, employee space. I sent another message to the airline, including screenshots of the exact location, confident this would speed things up. No response. The next morning I checked again. And that's when the situation shifted from inconvenience to violation. The AirPods had moved. Not to a processing center, not to lost and found, to an apartment complex. I stared at the screen for a long time, hoping the map would refresh and correct itself, hoping it was a glitch. It wasn't. Someone hadn't just found them. Someone had taken them home. A strange mixture of disbelief and humiliation settled over me. Not explosive anger, something quieter, heavier. The realization that a stranger had decided my property was theirs now, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Still, I tried to rationalize it. Maybe they took them accidentally. Maybe they intended to return them. But over the next few days, a pattern emerged. Morning, apartment, airport. Evening, airport, apartment. Over and over again. Whoever had them worked there. I documented everything. Timestamps, movement history, exact address, work schedule patterns, and sent it all to the airline. Certain this would be enough for them to identify the employee. Their response came the next day. Short, formal, dismissive. Because the item had left airport property, they could not intervene. I would need to contact local police. I lived in Arizona. This happened in Houston. And just like that, my claim was closed. No follow-up, no apology, no help. That was the moment something inside me changed. Not rage, something colder. For days, I kept opening the app like someone touching a bruise, unable to leave it alone. Then one evening, something different appeared on the screen. The earbuds were separated from the case, meaning they were being worn. My thumb hovered over the screen, over one simple option. Play sound, a tiny feature meant to help locate lost items. But in that moment, it felt like the only leverage I had left in the world. I tapped it. Even through my phone, the tone was brutal. A high-pitched electronic scream designed to be impossible to ignore. On the map, the dots jerked violently, then froze. Seconds later, both earbuds snapped back to the case location. I imagined the person ripping them out of their ears in shock. For the first time since losing them, I smiled. It didn't get my property back. It didn't fix anything. But it gave me something I hadn't felt since the airport. Control. From that moment on, I understood exactly what I could do. No confrontation, no legal battle, no dramatic revenge, just interruption. Whenever I saw the earbuds out, meaning they were being used, I triggered the sound. Not constantly, not obsessively, strategically. At work, during commutes, late evenings, quiet moments. Every time the same reaction, sudden movement, panic, silence, back into the case. It became a silent psychological standoff. Weeks turned into months. Sometimes I forgot about them entirely. Then curiosity would pull me back. I'd open the app, and there they were again, separated, active. Another attempt, another tap, another piercing blast. Once inside a grocery store, the location bouncing between aisles before going still. Once on a bus route, moving steadily, then suddenly stopping. Once late at night at the apartment, probably relaxing, thinking they were finally safe to use them. Nope. Over time, my anger faded, replaced by something calmer. It wasn't about punishment anymore. It was about balance. Ironically, if they had called the number in lost mode that first day, I would have rewarded them generously, enough to buy their own pair, but they chose theft. So this became the cost. Not money, not confrontation, just permanent inconvenience. 6 months later, nothing has changed. Same apartment, same commute, same workplace, and occasionally, the same mistake. They try to use them again. And every time I remind them, those AirPods were never truly theirs. No drama, no witnesses, no risk. Just a tiny burst of chaos delivered directly into their ears. Quiet revenge. Persistent. Unavoidable. Revenge isn't always loud or destructive. Sometimes it's subtle, a quiet reclaiming of dignity after being ignored and dismissed. Sometimes justice doesn't come from systems or authorities. Sometimes it comes from refusing to let wrongdoing go completely unanswered. Call it karma. Call it pettiness. Call it closure. But somewhere in Houston, someone knows they didn't get away with it entirely. If this story gave you chills, or made you smile, hit that like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what's the pettiest revenge you've ever seen? Because sometimes, the smallest payback hurts the most.